full access to the internet to be a fundamental human right? New research reveals that the internet could be a key way of protecting other basic human rights, such as life, liberty, and freedom, from a torture a means of enabling billions of people to lead a minimally decent lives. A social media being a net positive or a net negative for a society. Why? Some of the positive benefits of social media are having a platform to showcase technological savvy and creativity, increase self-confidence by empowering introverts to express their ideas, and the ability to create lifelong friends. The negative impacts of social media on society are easy availability of illegal or inappropriate materials online that is not age suitable. Addiction to social networks can disrupt an individual's life both personally and professionally. Do people in wealthier countries have moral obligation to help those in poorer countries? Saying that the citizens of rich nations have moral obligation to aid poor nations. First, some have argued all the persons have moral obligation to prevent harm when doing so would not cause comparable harm to themselves. Thus, they conclude people in rich nations have moral obligation to aid poor nations. Should there be a limitation on the right to a free speech? While we do have a freedom of speech, there should be a limit on it. One key example of how words are so powerful is the Constitution itself. Words are subjective. For example, if we recognize that our speech is becoming slanderous or harmful to other person, it should be frowned upon. If all your memories were erased, what kind of person would you be? Your identity is formed accordingly. As Soren Kierkegaard said, life can be only understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. So basically, you are your memories, and if your memories are lost, then consequently, you're not the same person.
So for me, internet access should be an individual's fundamental human right. Because we are living in the midst of pandemic, this is the only way we have to get the information easier around the globe without risking our lives, and to connect people as well, especially those family who had their family members living far away from them. In fact, internet access is now considered as basic necessities since we are living in a new normal. This is the medium that we are using in our work, in our study, and etc. If I were to ask if social media has been a positive net or negative net in our society, I think it's 50-50. Because yes, social media helps people to gain more knowledge and better understanding about the certain topics, especially nowadays, about our government, about our society, our culture, our traditions, and etc. And it became our platform to voice out our opinions and be heard by the people. Yet I still considered social media as a negative net for our society, because for me, some Filipinos are not yet responsible enough and disciplined enough for their own etiquettes. And some Filipinos can respect and accept the fact that we people do have different beliefs and outlooks in life. And plus the fact that people wanted to speak, people wanted to be heard, but no one wanted to listen first. And I think that's the negative net that social media has in our society. In my opinion, people in wealthier countries can decide whether to help or not the unprivileged people, because money is not something that we can easily have. People are also struggling to have that money, to get that money, to support and suffice their own needs and their families. And I don't think they have any obligation to the other people, because we are responsible for our own selves and our own family. However, they can still help if they want to and if they choose to. And for me, Everybody can help in their own different ways, in their own little ways. Right to free speech is necessary since we people do have a different values, point of views, opinions, perspectives, point of views, cultures, traditions, and etc. However, I still think that we should have a limitation since some of us is abusing that right. Some of us is not being sensitive and thinking carefully enough that they might hurt and offend other people with their voice, with the words that coming out from them. They didn't think that even those little things that they have said, they can hurt some feelings. If all of my memories will be erased, I think I will still going to be me. I will start again from zero. I will start again from being weak. And little by little, I will pick those shattered pieces of myself and become brave and whole again. If I had 1,000 times to choose what kind of self I would have, I will still choose myself right now over and over again. Because I am perfectly imperfect, made by my perfect God.
Should full access to the internet be a fundamental human right? Yes, because we need internet in our generation as our sources of communication and sources of our knowledge. Has social media been net positive or net negative for our society? Why? I think it is a negative and positive. The positive are it makes our life easy, and the negative are if we are addicted to it. Do people in wealthier countries have a moral obligation to help those poorer countries? No, I think because they are not in our country and also it's not their obligations. Should there be a limitation on the right to free speech? No. As a democratic country, we should speak what is in our worst insight. If all your memories were erased, what kind of person would you be? I think I'm the same person because my family know me well.
For me, yes, because we have a right or human right to see what's happening on the social media or through online. For me, there's a positive and negative result. The positive one is we can quickly gather the information through social media quickly, and for the negative is we have a fraudster by hiding their identity to us. For me, yes, because other country or rich country has an moral obligation to help poor country or other country that really needs it, because as a human being or human, we have a empathy, the ultimate virtue to understanding the people who really needs care and help. For me, there's nothing limitation to free speech, because when you say free, you are free. You are free to express opinion on the things, especially on the country or what is affecting to them to you, and you are free to express what is inside your heart or inside your opinion to the country or greatly affect to you. For me, I would be a person living in the mountain, far away from trouble, far away from the city, because here they only think of what they will eat on daily basis. They are also satisfied in their life, and also the most important is they are also satisfied what is the blessings they receive every day.
means a practice of freedom, freedom of information, and freedom of expression. This emphasizes the need of protection of the basic rights of a human. For me, it's a net positive, especially for us, the youth, because the social media is one of the channels where we can use our voices or to unveil the true colors of the so-called society. Also, social media were used to be an eye-opener for everyone. However, some people use it in a bad way. For me, people do have a moral obligation to help those poor countries because I believe everyone deserves to be helped and have a chance to stand again. It's just everyone needed someone who will lend their hands to help them to start again. Yes, because some of us forgot the word respect. Yes, it is not bad to speak for yourself or to express your inner thoughts, but we shouldn't forget the word respect. Nowadays, the freedom of speech was abused by the people. Not because we are free to speak, it is not enough reason to disrespect someone. If my memories were erased, I would be an empty and secure kind of person. I will always ask myself, why am I still existing? Or I will seek for those puzzle pieces that will make my life full again. Those memories are important to me because those memories are the one who shaped me. It's the foundation of the braveness that I have now. Whether it is a good or a bad one, it still gave a lesson.
For me, it is not the basic right of human, but we should consider it as a fundamental and privilege, since we should able to use it anytime, anywhere, even though everyone could not capable to have it. We all know that internet becomes relevant in today's era to communicate, to continue our study, and even to do our job, especially in this kind of health crisis. It also gives many people to stand up, to voice out, to get information, and to have awareness. Therefore, everyone should have that privilege to get or access an internet connection, because no one could restrict that. Even our government cannot take that privilege from us. However, it doesn't mean that everyone can do what they want. It depends on the user on how they limit themselves and use it negatively or properly. Social media is definitely one of the biggest portions of every lives of every individual, right? Like every other thing, social media has certain positive as well as negative impacts on society. The positive impact of media on society is that people are more informed than ever and can probably make more educated decisions, and social media improves connection by the time passes by, especially in the midst of crisis. While on contrary, the negative impact of media can involve people doing violent acts, extreme cases, human trafficking, abuse, and etc. The list of negative and positive impacts are endless. Social media doesn't work without us. It still depends on how we use it. If we are responsible when using social media, then we will all get a peaceful online space that we deserve. Wealthy nations that made their wealth all on their own do not have a moral obligation to help out poor ones. All they need to do is play fair when it comes to international business, and nothing more. But for me, the rich countries can help countries who need it, but it doesn't mean that they have obligation to help poor countries. Helping needy countries, especially in this pandemic, is no obligation. It is called humanity. There is nothing wrong about helping others. The wrong is they make the country be independent and can possibly abuse their kindness. Any limited freedom is no longer freedom. It has become privilege under the control of whatever authority does the limiting. Therefore, freedom of speech should not be limited, but hate speech must be. We should not change the level of freedom of speech, especially for ordinary people like us. But we should remember that freedom of speech should come with responsibility. You have the right to express yourself as long as you do not interfere with the rights of others. Just be responsible and sensitive on what we speak. Of course, consciousness is the first thing we normally feel, but I think I would be a very happy person and become more valuable if I lost my memories. Because despite that situation, I was able to live again and start new visions, and that is enough reason just to be thankful. In my opinion, even without the loss of memories, we are not the same person from one moment to the next, because I believe that everyone is not consistent in what they act, that everything can change even in a little span of time.